All right, I'm gonna give this a shot. I put it off for about a year now, waiting for responses from these credit card companies. I'm here to talk to you about balance transfers. Um, Back in 2024, my credit line was 80K, which took me 2 years to build because I strongly believe that credit is just a ripoff. It's a big business. I'm a business person. I'm 57 years old this year, and I've owned six different businesses. And I've been in through the game of credit cards, ATMs, offering my customers paying fees. As a business, you get charged fees for allowing other people to use the credit card scanners and whatnot. And it gets very expensive. But that's not how they make their money either. Come to find out that you really don't need credit, but at one point in your life, um, you're gonna need credit because this is a game that you have to play with this society. Um, let's start out with wow, I don't even know where to start, honestly. I've been hesitating on doing this because it's such an inconvenience to have to do this, but just want to make people aware of what you're getting into. You're playing into a mouse trap. Uh, you're just going to go around with credit and you're going to have to play the game. So you need to be aware of what they're doing. And I hopefully can shed some light. And in the future, I would do a more in depth video, but I don't want to put this off anymore. I've had nightmares. I can't believe how these credit card companies work. But I've done a lot of studying, and I actually used to know how. I actually not used to know, but I actually know how to fix credit because as a younger person, I experienced part of what credit and how credit works and how to fix credit. I even went to classes on how to fix credit, and I've learned quite a bit. But as I got older, I've owned houses as you need credit and whatever not, and I got tired of playing into that mace because that's really what you're doing when you're using credit. You're making somebody else money. Banks are not gonna lose money. They'll find one way or another to take your money. You're just a mouse, a rat. I would say a pawn, but they're not even using you to play a game. You're playing into their game. So I would say a mace would be more of a correct approach to this. Um, I had, like I mentioned, I had $80,000 worth of credit. I had American Express, the worst. Discover, I liked. They're very fair. Um, Found out that they just joined Capital One, which is a bigger game. They're taking over things, but hey, that everybody's got to make money somehow. It's just how they go about making money, you know. In August of 2024, my credit was 747, which I built, which I'm gonna make another video on how not to play their game by getting your own credit by using your own money, which banks don't want you to do. They want you to use their money, which they don't want to give you. I had a account. Well, I still have an account with Bank of America for over 25 years. Sitting on 80, 90, probably about 120K in my bank, and I decided to buy a house. I figure it's time. The market is not the greatest, but hey, I figured I've been through a divorce, lost businesses. I'm very experienced in business, how they work. So I decided to buy a house. So I decided that, hey, I got the money. I'm just going to put down the down payment on a house. And needless to say, I've done real estate also. So I also know how it works. But I figured things might have changed. Everybody's talking about how easily it is not to get into a house. I've owned multiple houses over the years, and was around when the market crashed back in 2006. Lost a lot of money, lost houses and all that. So I figure it's time. My kids are out of the house. Went through a divorce, lost businesses, made businesses, and now still in business. But anyways, I'm 25 years into being a customer with Bank of America, and figure I go buy a house. So I told him, hey, I have the down payment for the house. I want to buy a house. Here's my down payment. So sure enough, they said no, you don't have credit. And I said I don't need credit. I have the down payment. They said, well, that's not the way it works. Yes, I know how it works. Okay, so I asked them for a credit card. They said, well, you're going to have to start from the bottom. You qualify for a $200 credit card. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm sitting on 120K in your bank, and you're not going to give me a credit card? So I said, I'll tell you what. I want to open up my own credit card with my own money. And they said, oh, we can't do that. And I said, get your manager. I know how this works. I want a $2,000 credit card. Manager comes around and, oh, yeah, well, yeah, there's a way of doing that. Yes, there is a way of doing that. I don't want your money. I want my money, so that I have my own credit line. So I did that, a year and a half into it, coming in August 24. I went from zero credit to 747 credit. I'm doing great, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And this is where it all ties in, I started out getting credit from Costco. Costco is an awesome company. I trade their stock and whatnot, and they're a very outstanding company. So I got a card from them, and I've been around with them for about 25 years, and they actually, you know, um, gave me a first card I applied for, $2,000. So I built that up to about $9,000 and whatnot, and I used what is it, City Card Costco, and happy, doing great. My score is 747 now, and I get another offer from them, which is why I'm here. Balance transfer. They said, hey, we want to offer you a Diamond City card, not a Costco City card, but a Diamond City card because you're a great customer. Now, come to find out that although Costco uses Citibank, they're not affiliated, which is, well, but you use them, and they use you, and they're using your name. So later on, we'll talk about that if I don't get off track. So, anyways, I was very happy that I got this credit line for $10,000 balance transfer. Now I didn't have more than $7,000 between all my cars trying to build my credit, because now I have a Discover, I have a Venmo, I have all these credit cards to try to build my credit so I can get a good maybe 800, 820, 840. I'm paying all my cards on auto pay. I know how this works. It's a game. So you keep a minimum and whatever not, and it builds your credit. So Bank of America sends me all of a sudden a balance transfer like the same 3 days later. Ironically. They're all in cahoots. This is all a game. So I called Citibank and I says City Diamond, and they're like, hey, yeah, this is a great opportunity. And I said, well, I know a lot about fixing credit and how credit works, and I'm a business person, but I never really explored balance transfers. So they said, oh no, this is a great opportunity. This is gonna boost up your credit. Blah blah blah. I said I don't have that much in debt. I really don't need it. Oh no, this once you do this balance transfer, what it's gonna do is gonna show that you paid all your credit cards off, and it's just gonna shoot your credit. So I was like, well, let me look into this. And I says, well, what's funny? I says, I've been with you guys for 25 years. I applied for this card with Costco a year and a half ago, and you just increased my credit like every 3 months. And they're like, yeah, well, we appreciate your business. I was like, whoa, this is great. I says, but I've been with Bank of America for 25 years, and I'm sitting on 120K in the bank, and they don't even want to give me a $200 card. And all of a sudden, I said, it's funny how You guys sent me a balance transfer for 10K, and all of a sudden they want to send me a balance transfer for 4K. It's kind of insulting. And they're like, well, yeah, you should look into that. So I said, yeah, give me a minute. Hung up, went to Bank of America, and I'm sitting there giving them the whole spiel. I've been with you guys for, I'm a business owner. I've had credit. You guys won't sell me a house. You guys won't give me a credit card. So now all of a sudden, I says, I consider this an insult that I'm sitting on 120K on an average, and you guys want to send me a balance transfer for $4,000 when Costco, I've had a credit card with them for a year and a half, and they want to give me 10K. They built my credit up like that, and they're like, oh, well, I'm sorry that things turned out that way. This is the balance transfer person over at Bank of America, right? So I says, yeah, that's an insult. And she says, well, better late than never. This is what I can do for you. She goes, I see that you built your card up to $4,000 credit line in the last year and a half. And I said, yeah, because I had to start out on my own, and they're like, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do for you to make this a little bit more appealing is we'll match what they gave you. We'll transfer that $4,000 and we'll give you another, I think, 9,095 or something, credit line, so you can do a balance transfer. And I says, well, tell me about this balance transfer, because I'm not a dummy. I like to know how things work. I took me a year and a half to get this because I'm trying to buy a house with the best credit, and I figure in 2 years I'm going to have 800 credit and above, and this will be a plus. So is there any risk to this? Oh no, if you do this, and I said, well, and do that, and even if you don't have that much debt, maybe you should go out and go shop and build a little bit of debt so that we can transfer it. And so I said, heck, you know what? I need a new refrigerator, new stove, new couch and whatever not, new kitchen set. I'll go out there and go to Costco and spend this money, and then we'll do, because they're giving me 10K. I have an 80K credit line. And I says, do you think that, if I use both of them, because it's a zero fee for 18 months, very attractive. It's like, wow, I if I make minimum payments on that, I can get new everything. So I got in debt $18,000. And I says to both of the representatives, because I went back and forth to make sure they weren't playing me or they were misleading me. So I talked to them and I says, hey, so are you sure this is not going to affect my credit? They both agreed that if I do this balance transfers, I'm going to pay these credit cards in full, and they'll look like I just made this, I paid them in full, right? So I was like, hey, this sounds great. So went shopping, got all that, like I said, got in debt, transferred the money, maxed them out, great. A week later, I get an alert from Discover saying, well, you paid, and I looked into it, you paid your whole card off, but your credit just dropped 100 points. So I went, wait a minute, this is supposed to make my credit better. I know this is a long video, but this is something that you really should pay attention to, because I found out that this happens to a lot of people, and I will get to that point. So anyway, so I called them up. I called Diamond City, and I called Bank of America, balance transfer departments, and I said, hey, what's going on? Well, we don't know. It's probably just something, just give it about a week or a couple of weeks, and it should bounce back. It should show great. Your credit should improve, right? So I said, okay, just give it some time. And I went on about my business. I'm a busy person. I trade. I own my own business, so I stayed pretty busy, About a month or so later, I went on vacation snowboarding. I go to buy my snowboard with my family and whatever not, and get, I got $80,000 worth of credit, right? Even though I just put $18,000 worth of transfer, and I'm $18,000 in debt now. I get it, but that's probably 30%. I'm still within great, and I spoke to both of City Diamond and uh, in Bank of America, and they said, "Oh, this is not even going to put a dent on your credit. You know, you'll look great, and everything's going to be great, and your credit should be over 800 in no time at all." So, anyways, back to my vacation. I go to run my card, credit denied. I was like, I got 20K on this card. Huh, crazy. You know, go to run my other credit card, credit denied. So I'm like, did somebody steal my identity or something? You know, I better call the bank. So I take it that these cards are $20,000 a piece, two of them, Venmo, and can't remember what the other one was. Maybe Discover because I paid in full. And I go over to customer service, and they said, well, we had to. This is where it gets great. We had to look into this, and we looked into it, and your credit score is reflected on your credit line, so we had to revoke your credit. Yeah, great. I had $80,000 worth of credit revoked because of this two balance transfers, and this is what you need to be aware of. Okay, um, I called my other bank and I said, "What is this all about?" They said, "Well, you know, your credit's not great." And I says, "Well, if it wasn't great, you wouldn't have gave me the balance transfers where you assured me over and over again that this would be great for my credit, not do what it's doing." I called you right away within a week when I found out and got the alert that my credit had dropped, and you told me that it was just a mistake and it would jump back up. I called both Bank of America and City Diamond to verify that this was just a mistake. They said, "Oh no, it'll bounce back. You're great." Well, just like a domino effect, and this is how they play you as a mouse, uh, or a mouse is just because of the mace that they build for you. Okay, they make money off of you. When you make a balance transfer, you pay a minimum fee. I paid 280 on one and 290 on the other one just to make that transfer, which gives you 18 months of free zero interest. Okay, put you on auto pay. You're great. So you know you want to pay a little bit more to make sure that it looks great. Okay, I know how credit works as far as making it look great, but I had no idea that these balance transfers would do this. So I says, wait a minute, I just got $80,000 worth of credit revoked because of this balance transfer. Oh no, that's not possible. You need to call TransUnion. I called TransUnion, well, the three credit bureaus. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my homework. You know, I was embarrassed because I had to pay cash for all the stuff that I had to buy for my trip. Um, Luckily, my hotels and stuff like that were already paid for, and they didn't deny me. Um, but that's only because they were putting a hold on them. All my credit, just like I said, domino effect. I had like 5 cards, 4 cards, whatever. Denied credit, denied credit. They revoked all my credit. You know, so called the TransUnion. What's the other one? Well, there's three of them, and I actually have all their information here. Which when I make this other video, because I know this is going to be a long video, TransUnion, Equifax. Here's, well, I don't want to show my information here, but you know, I'm gonna make a more in detail. I want to hear from other people because I'm trying to build a case against these banks because what they're doing is tremendously wrong. You know, this is ridiculous. So I called Expedia and all these, you know, people here. Here's my credit score as of a year later because I'm suffering from all this. Um, and I called them, I talked to them, and it says, well, your credit is impeccable. You have 2 years since you started this credit venture, and you know there's nothing wrong. You've never made a late payment. You're double, triple paid, and you should have like 800 plus. What'd you do? And I says, well, that's why I'm calling you guys, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, whatever, all these credit people, and they're like, well, we don't understand. You know, the only thing that we show is what they show us, and we show 2 cards maxed out, which raised a red flag on your account. And I says, well, why is it a red flag? I says, even if if I'm sitting at $80,000 worth of credit, and I have $18,000 worth of debt, that's, I don't know, do the math, maybe 30% in debt, so it shouldn't even affect my credit. So moving forward, they're like, well, we're going to send you to a credit counselor company to find out what's going on. So they gave me a phone number, and I know how this works because I repaired credit before, and I actually helped a lot of people in my days to repair their credit because there's process through it. So anyway, so I called up. I went down the line, called up the counselor, and they says to me, well, I wish we could help you fix your credit, but there's nothing wrong with your credit. The only thing that is wrong with your credit is you made these balance transfers, and like the credit bureaus told you, this raised a red flag on your account, which dropped 100 points on your credit, and there's really nothing we can do about it. So I keep arguing with them, and I keep asking them, does this happen? What's going on? Is this something that happens all the time? Both the credit report agencies, the counselors told me that this happens to people all the time. This is what they do. This is where you become a mouse or a rat in a mace. This is a despicable thing that you need to be aware of before you make a balance transfer. This is a big game or a trap. This is how they make money. First, they make their fee. This is where you need to pay attention, okay? Then they set you up, and then they sell your information to third parties. I get about 5 to 10 calls a day. I run a business, and it's just insane how many people call me, because what they do is they sell your information saying that you maxed out your cards, and now your credit's gone. It's destroyed. They got their money, and what they do is they sell it to third-party companies, third, fourth, whatever you want to call them, and they start sending you offers. Oh, you're in debt. Letters. I have buckets of letters in a month. I get probably 30, 40 letters. Offers. We can get you in debt. We understand. So now all of a sudden you become a criminal. Okay? It's disgusting. I called, so let me keep going. Okay, so from there, from the counselors, they can't fix anything. My credit is impeccable. Okay, so then they gave me a number to, what is it called? The Consumers Credit Bureau. This is the United States of America, where you fill out, you go online and you fill out what's going on with your situation. You explain it to them. They want proof and whatever not for each one of the companies that you're having a problem with, which is Diamond, Citi, and Bank of America. Okay, now I've walked into these offices, talked to the managers. They're like, we can't help you. That ain't right. You're just crazy. I says, no. Look, I showed them my credit reports. I showed them what happened. They're not going to help you. They don't care. They don't give a crap. You're just a mouse playing into their world. Okay? That's what balance transfers do. So again, I did everything I had to do. I filled out all the applications on consumers, credit report assistance and whatever not. And come to find out that this is happening to people all the time. So that's why I'm making this video, because you need to be aware of what's happening. Okay, this is a big, big maze that you're never going to win. This consumer report agency or whatever not, they're supposed to oversee and give you, the hope that they're going to do something for you. They don't do crap for you. They investigate it. Oh, sure, they sent me a letter. I have a letter here. A letter. Look, this is probably about, 25 pages, 30 pages telling me that everything looks correct. The bank reported what they were supposed to report. The credit bureaus do what they do. And have a great day. They investigated it. They reviewed it. They don't do crap for you. They're all in the same business. The business is to take your money. Okay? The business is to ignore the fact that you just got taken, robbed. Okay, I had nightmares about how this is affecting my life. Got me in debt. I'm gonna get out of debt, but that's not the point. I can't buy a house. I can't get my teeth fixed because I had care credit, operations for my teeth. I can't finish that. 20 grand here, 20 grand there. I didn't need it. I can't buy a house. My credit destroyed. Okay, credit bureaus won't do nothing for you. Counseling won't do nothing for you. Consumers, I can't remember what this is called. I'm gonna look at it again. I'm gonna do a more in-depth video, but I can't. A year later, I just feel violated. I feel taken advantage of, and this is why I'm doing this video. Okay, I've been to all the banks, personally walked into them. I worked in the Citibank, and just so you know, I asked them. I said, I'm not making all this up. I didn't destroy my credit on purpose. You guys did this. Oh, that's impossible. And I says, well, why did your agents tell me that this would not affect me, and when I made them aware that it did affect me, they denied it. But here I am. Okay, they said, oh no, that's not possible. I says, well, guess what? You record all your conversations. If I'm a liar, then why was my score 747 and now 647 or 627? Oh, we don't know. You must have done something. No. I have the proof right here. I showed them the pictures of my credit scores, from the printouts that I get from Expedia and all that. And they're like, no, that's not possible. It is possible. Oh, our agents wouldn't encourage you to take this offer and whatever. Now, no. Well, you record your conversations, so go back and listen to your conversations for quality, right? I says, well, I'm part of the quality that you're trying to uphold, so why don't you go back? Oh, yeah, well, we investigated it, and this is not something that happens all the time. No, it does happen. It happens to a lot of people, and this is just wrong for you to do to people. No, no, we sent you a letter. I said, by the way, do you mind if I record these conversations? Click. They just hang up on me. I've dealt with it, like all these banks. I called different banks. They all, why did you revoke my credit? Oh, because your credit score is just bad. And I said, well, and I explained to my other 3-4 cards, American Express the worst. They would not even talk to me. And I know this. American Express is just Capital One. Boy, they are deep. I'm sad to see Discover card, because I would say that was one of the most honest cards that I had. I'm just disappointed that they joined with Capital One, because I've had Capital One and I've helped many people fix their credit with Capital One, and they're the worst to deal with in American Express. Oh, forget it. I've had incidents where all of a sudden, I accidentally, my bank didn't make a deposit on auto pay because the computer rejected it, whatever not. But ever since my credit score dropped, they don't care who you are. They could care less who you are and how much money you have. $20,000, boom, gone. Next thing you know, your credit line is what you owe. So Bank of America, Citibank, City Diamond, none of them care. All they go by is, and they stick to the rules of your credit score, which they damaged in the first place. Okay? I know I'm all over the place, but just follow, because if this has happened to you, please let me know. I'm trying to build a lawsuit for this, because this is just wrong. I'm a business person. They're business, but being in business, I understand how this works. Okay? I've figured it out. Okay? They should not be doing this to people. Okay? This is just wrong to do to people. Again, I lost my place, but so, $80,000 worth of credit gone. They will take no responsibility for it. They don't care. They don't give a damn. You could die. They don't care. All you are is a number, a credit score, okay, which they want to control you by. They offer you, they present all these great things for you, and when it goes bad, they will take no responsibility. They will not do anything for you. They will send you letters saying, "Oh, we couldn't possibly do that to your credit." You send them letters showing the fact that their consequences did this to your credit. They don't care. You can have all the proof in the world. They do not care. This is a business for them. Okay? Again, they will sell your information to a third party. The third party will send it to a fourth party, and they'll all try to help you out. We can help you repair your credit if you pay us a higher percentage. So all of a sudden, your 0% for 18 months, if you want to fix your credit, becomes better than 29%, at 17%, at 10%, at 5%, at 7. No, actually, no 5%, because they're gonna make their money. 7, 10, 14, 30, and then they look at your credit. Once you call in and ask them, well, yeah, I want to get out of debt with this $18,000, $20,000 with the credit. Oh, well, sure, we can help you. We sent you a letter to lure you in, but now that we look at your credit score sucks. Your credit score is 642 or whatever it is, because it's damaged, and we'll offer you a better rate, but we have to go by the credit score. What kind of help is that? Your credit score, my credit score is toast. So now all of a sudden, that's 5, 7, 8% loan that they want to give you to get out of debt is 26, 27%. Or we'll give you 20K at 12%, 19%, 29%. And that's like, keep in mind, I didn't have to get in debt. I was doing great. They talked me into it. That's what they make it, what's the word I'm looking for? They make it attractive. Oh, you're crazy. And again, why would you give me a $10,000 balance transfer if my credit wasn't great? But all of a sudden, after you make this balance transfer and you destroy my credit, you get me in debt. See, sell my information, and now I'm a victim. I'm a crook. I've been taken advantage of. I'm gonna end this video with this here. Please in the comments, go ahead and send me your information so we can build a lawsuit, because from what I understand, there is a lot of people that are suffering from this. The credit bureaus, nobody's gonna do nothing for you, but I'm not gonna sit here and take this sitting down. I will do something about it. I want to get enough people together so that we can get a lawsuit and beat them at their own game. All right, let me know in the comments. Again, I have all the paperwork sitting here. Okay, from all this, I have tons of letters, and this is just from them saying, sorry, we can't help you. We didn't do that. It's impossible. Big game, big game. Let me know, please. I'm gonna make a more in-depth video, but I want to get this started. I waited for all the responses. I've gone through everything, and this is where I'm at. Let me know. Let's do something about this. Let me know in the comments, okay? Thank you. Appreciate it.